Well, I think it makes things life a little more difficult. You know, you know, having to clean up and you know the garbage and trying to get to work, trying to get the kids to school. It's real hard. It's sad that it happened that way, but people coming together, they cleaning up. They helping each other out. It's a good thing. It's always good in the bad stuff.
I've got to tell you, the Civic Center down here has been a godsend. They're here every day with a lot of people, kids, adults, just coming by, giving us cleaning stuff, dust masks, pitching in and helping you pull stuff out of your house. I mean, it's been every day. It's just, it's really heartwarming to see something like that. They've been really involved, and like I said, every day I've been here, there's been a crew coming around, young kids volunteering. It's been a real help to us, I can tell you that much.
We couldn't get in for 3 days. The storm happened Monday, Tuesday. We couldn't get in the island till Friday the 2nd of November, and almost immediately that weekend, there were lots of people that were here to help, help us get things out, that needed to be out of the house, help us with the cleanup. We had family members, we were fortunate, who came down and helped us. But also, we saw a lot of volunteers who came down, offering people food. People that the homeowners who we know were cleaning up, they were coming down bringing us food because they knew we couldn't pretty much sustain ourselves here. So there was, and even contractors. I mean, there were people here that were offering us help. I mean, we saw that almost immediately. And I think we're at high tide now. Not total, no, not complete high tide, but when I was here Thursday, it was so high that you couldn't even see the marsh. Basically just looked like all water all the way out. I was the chief of the Emergency Management Office for the Philadelphia District of the Army Corps of Engineers. The Army Corps of Engineers gets brought in situations like this. And our role in the federal response is to respond to situations where there's help needed with the public infrastructure. Typically we would get involved in maybe providing generators for temporary power. Most of what we do is temporary in nature and just supports the the situation via the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A lot of this is just the contractor stuff that they left behind, their equipment and the big fan.
They're making a disaster worse.
Yeah. We had wall-to-wall carpeting in here. As you can see, the radiators, that was our heat. So the water got down into the electric and into the radiators. The walls have to be cut. I can show you what the water line looked like. We had about a 20-inch water line throughout the house. They cut the walls to 31 inches. So they went 31 inches above where the water line was. And anything that is touched by the flood water needs to be removed, and chemicals applied and to prevent mold so that you can live in the house again. But then you go through a process where you have to dry everything out. So we had fans. Well, you can see we have a big fan in the house and a whole bunch of other little fans just trying to dry out the floor and the walls. All that insulation that gets wet needs to be removed and replaced. So anyway, the house is not livable right now, but fortunately for us, we don't need to live here. Like I said, I feel more sorry for the folks that, I think my neighbor across the street in the blue house there is, they're year-round residents, and they're not living in their home right now, so that's the sad part. The tub's gonna have to come out. What you might find interesting is, I'll take you through here, but through the back of the tub, there's a, you can actually see down into the crawl space and see where the floor that you're standing is basically the foundation of the house. You basically lose all your appliances. elevation here since 1950. We have to get to, the problem is with the actual floor here is that the floor is the foundation of the house. So we're not sure whether we're actually gonna, we're not sure what we're gonna do, but we may raise the house. It definitely is not high enough, not to flood elevation, so we're probably gonna be raising it, if not tearing it down and starting over. We definitely can't rebuild it where it is, just based on, I think this storm gave us all a message. We haven't been coming down dressed up like this. We've been in jeans and stuff, but today we actually went and had brunch.
These guys are tough, man. They're like bulls.
I know, they're like bulls in
Not
China shit.
everything else out of the way.
Yep. In the business I'm in, you know, we prepare for hurricanes along the East Coast, and you know, the last few years they've been saying, well, you know, kind of has its peaks and valleys, but Sandy was just such a weird storm, because typically we don't see these kind of storms in the Northeast later in the hurricane season, like this one came in. So it was almost November. Hurricane season goes till the end of November, but typically our waters aren't warm enough. But I don't know that it was more so the hurricane as the nor'easter and the other storm that, you know, combined with it was the real factor, but definitely a freak storm. You ready to go? I guess once we get done with the bathroom and the kitchen floors, we can start making plans for rebuilding, or like I said, as a minimum, we're probably going to need, we definitely need to raise the house. In 1950, they weren't built on pilings. They weren't really at flood elevation. I think most people will stay. They'll rebuild. Like they say, I don't know, maybe you end up with a better situation, but it's devastating because like I lost my mom 2 years ago, but this was like her favorite place to be, and so my family, like, they want to see us rebuild and continue it as a family place for us, our little getaway from Philadelphia or wherever we are.